Conversational marketing helps buyers use real-time conversations by a chatbot or a live chat. Let's take a look first at chatbots. So what are chatbots? These are programs that automate certain tasks while chatting with the user. And another definition that you can see on the right-hand side is that it's a service powered by rules and sometimes artificial intelligence that you interact with via chat interface. So you can see on the left-hand side that we have an example of an Actuado bot. You know that it's a bot because of the avatar and also because of the name. It's named Actuado bot because Actuado is the name of the company. You can also see that there are already prepared answers users can choose from. When the bot asks the user a question, the answers are already there. So these are rule-based chatbots. Based on what user clicks, for example, video sales, chatbot asks them additional questions related to that. So in this case, video sales. It's a conversational approach, which means that the questions and the answers are short. We're used to chatting on the phone, but also on computers. We have two different types of bots, utility bots and informational bots. The example of utility bots would be booking a ride or booking tickets. An example of informational bots would be breaking news or new blog posts or new article based on the behavior on the website. So the chatbot is offering the information based on your behavior as a user on the website, what you're reading, where you clicked, which pages did you see, etc. And artificial intelligence or AI is often very important to the chatbots. But we also have chatbots that don't use artificial intelligence, so they function based on rules. These are simple ones, of course. And then when you move to the right-hand side of the sophistication graph, you can see on the screen, you'll see that more and more of these bots are AI-powered bots. So they use machine learning. Enter conversational marketing. You probably noticed that, especially for millennials, this is the preferred way of communication. Buyers are different, and we want to give them different options and expand the way that we're communicating with them. So instead of pushing content to them, we're actively participating in answering the questions that they might have, meeting them where they already are. We can anticipate the common questions and answer them in advance with the help of a bot. Or we can meet the buyers in live chat, as you can see here on the screen. This is a chat with a real person. Of course, we could start with offering the chatbot first and then hand over to the live chat only for those users who require more help or have in-depth questions. Another example is Facebook Messenger. Facebook is a widely used platform, and so is Facebook Messenger. Here is a real example of Air France, which uses Facebook Messenger for customer support. So you see that there's a bot where one could check in just by clicking this button, and then it would lead them to a page where they can add additional information to finish the check-in process. In this case, the user wasn't able to check in and they answered no. So the bot gives them an option to talk to an agent that would help them, which is something that you cannot see on the screenshot. An interesting statistic says that consumers are 4 times more likely to prefer using chat over speaking to a human, which makes sense, especially because the chatbot is available 24/7, while usually live customer support is not. We always want to personalize and customize a chatbot. First, by using an avatar that is customized and aligned with the company brand. We also want to personalize the messaging. Here's an example where we send the user from Facebook to the website where there is a chatbot waiting. You would end the Facebook post with, "Do you want to know how? Talk to our chatbot." And that chatbot could also have a name. And when the user lands on the website, they would see the chatbot with the same avatar that you included in the Facebook post. The chatbot would greet the user with something like, "Hi, thanks for coming over from Facebook to chat with me." The user would get an immediate connection based on the messaging that they started with on Facebook, and then moving over to the website to actually engage in a conversation with first a bot, but potentially later also with a human. As I already mentioned, that the 24/7 accessibility is something that's a great benefit of the chatbots. Here you can see an example from Zendesk that doesn't have a rule-based bot because user doesn't pick a prepared answer. They can write an answer, so it's based on AI. Then the bot's answer depends on what the user types in. It responds with a relevant answer and guides the user to the next step. Bots can also organize meetings. This is something that can be done in platforms like HubSpot, Drift, or others. Here you can see an example where you can schedule a meeting while chatting with the chatbot, as the chatbot can pull up the calendar of an agent or sales consultant. And then based on the availability of that agent, the user can click on the day and time that works for them. Both user and the agent will get a confirmation via email and a calendar invite, since the platform, the chatbot platform, is integrated with the calendar in Gmail or Outlook. What the bot can do is also route conversations. For example, when someone asks what the price for Zendesk is in conversation with the Z-bot, as it's called, it recognized that they're talking about products, so they offered a few options. If the user chooses, say, connect to sales, it would connect them to a sales agent that would help them further. A very important part is also collecting and analyzing questions. It's very helpful when the bots are integrated with a CRM database. For example, if you use HubSpot platform, the chatbots are already integrated with the CRM. And if you use other platforms like Drift, they can be integrated with a CRM platform. Chatbots answer your visitors' questions by pulling information from your database. They could also automatically save a chatbot conversation that would help you with the information you'd need to further nurture the leads. You could create or update knowledge base articles answering the common questions that chatbots get asked. Or you could prepare snippets with the common answers that you can use in live chat to be more effective and for different employees to convey the same messages. But before we're able to create the chatbots, we need to plan them properly, something that's often neglected. It should be very clear what the bot's personality is and that it's aligned with the brand. We need to think how many scenarios we need. Just a note, scenarios are sometimes called chat flows or playbooks, and with them create different rule-based options. For example, if you have A, B, C answers and the user clicks on B, what would the next question be? Because it needs to be obviously related to the answer that the user gave previously. We check and optimize these scenarios. And you can see on the right-hand side, just a screenshot of how it can be done. So you create a chatbot name, you agree on the design version, because usually there are several different versions of the avatar. You want to set up which language you want to use. It can be more than one, obviously, the branding, etc. The tone of voice, in this case, wants to be optimistic, informal, fun, but professional. Not every company will have the same tone of voice. So, for example, bigger companies are probably more conservative. You can also decide whether you want to use the emojis and the GIFs, again, depending on your company's personality and tone of voice. Of course, chatbots can also have negative aspects. Some of the conversations with bots that you may have already had are really, really frustrating. Usually when the user doesn't know that it's a bot, or maybe the answers powered by artificial intelligence are not that good. It should be very clear when the company is using a bot, with the naming conventions and using the avatar of a bot. Sometimes bots also feel too spammy in the personal space, which is something that you need to be mindful of when creating the scenarios. Also, try to offer an option to talk to a human, although it probably makes sense to first qualify the users. And now let's take a look at the live chat. These are some examples of how a chatbot can lead the conversation to the live chat. You can see that the questions are based on what the user previously answered and that they wanted the bot to connect them with a consultant. The bot said, okay, just a second, which is aligned with how it usually chats with short messages. On the left, They couldn't connect to the consultant, and when replying, the bot said, "Oops, looks like nobody is available at the moment." Word "oops" is something that the company used deliberately to look more friendly and conversational. On the right-hand side, you see that the bot answered, "Okay, just a second," and then the consultant appeared. As they know from previous answers what the user is interested in, they use that information in their first message. This is something that's very important, that whoever takes over the conversation, they read the earlier messages first and then get the context. No one likes to repeat it over and over and lose time. Then you can have different scenarios when using live chat. Your team can be online on working days and hours, and the rest is offline mode. The day and time should be set the way that's relevant to your company's availability on other channels. And of course, the agents or consultants who take over the live chat check out for the meetings or lunch, etc. They just need to be mindful of always doing that, because otherwise the chatbot will connect the users with the consultant that won't appear. We plan the scenario in advance, and you can see an example of how this kind of scenario can be built. Then one of the important benefits of chatbots is the lead qualification, because they hand them over to a consultant or the agent. You plan these elimination questions so that you get some context on who the user is, what they're interested in, and whether they're someone it would make sense for your company to engage with in live chat. Or perhaps their questions can be answered with pre-built snippets or articles that are already available, and a chatbot can point to them. Those who do qualify are handed off to a human. The consultant would be able to see the context and smoothly continue with the conversation. Of course, sometimes the agent will not be available. That's why you want to include in your scenario that the chatbot asks for the email address in case they get disconnected with the user, so that the consultant can continue the conversation via email after they're back to work. Copywriting for chatbots is also one of the important aspects. We already mentioned that it should be similar to the way we chat. The answers to the questions are short, concise, usually simple grammar. If the chatbot is connected to a CRM, we can also use the user's name to personalize the conversation. This is the case with returned users who already gave us their name or on prior visits to the website, and we have that information stored in the CRM. We want to use interesting conversation starters to get the conversation going and continuing with small independent fragments, just like we do when chatting privately. And to end our module with conversational marketing, we want to help you build a chatbot. Something that you need to ask yourselves in the beginning is which problems you want to solve with the chatbot. Then you can choose the right platform for your chatbot. So it could be HubSpot or Drift or maybe Facebook Messenger or Slack. What do your buyers use? Then set up a rule-based chatbot with services like HubSpot or ManyChat that are easy to build. Thank you.